traveled with my mom to Kennedy Island in the middle of the South Pacific in the Solomon Islands. This is the island where my grandfather was rescued by Solomon Islanders and Australian coast watchers after being shot down by a Japanese destroyer. The story of the PT-109 is pretty incredible. For those who don't know it, and even for those who do, it's worth repeating in brief. Captain Kennedy, his title then, and his crew on the PT-109 were patrolling the contested waters in the Solomon Islands. These were some of the fiercest battlegrounds in all of World War II. Just miles away at Guadalcanal, I saw personally Iron Bottom Sound that still shows the wreckage of the some 40 ships that were sunk there. Late one night in August, the PT-109 was shot down by a Japanese destroyer. The plywood hull was split in half. 2 men lost their lives, and the rest swam to shore, led by Captain Kennedy, who had a belt in his mouth, tied around an injured crewmate as he willed the 2 of them to shores, the deserted Kennedy Island. There, he and his crew spent their days hiding from the enemy under the cover of palm trees. At night, JFK swam miles into the ocean to try to flag down a friendly vessel. Finally, he did after 3 days. 2 Solomon scouts, native Solomon Islanders helping the Allied war effort. He carved a message into a coconut shell that listed his coordinates and gave it to the Islanders, who then paddled 38 miles in their dugout canoes and gave the Australian coast watchers the message, who then rescued Captain Kennedy and his crew. Last year, when my mom and I traveled there to this hallowed ground to recreate a part of that memory and meet the family members of the Solomon Islanders who saved JFK's life, I was thinking 3 things, or I was left thinking 3 things. First, I would not be here today if it weren't for the bravery of not only my grandfather and his crew, and the multinational team that was responsible for his rescue. And not only that, but even John F. Kennedy had to ask for help at one point in his life. Second, the power of history to make former enemies present friends. The captain of the Japanese destroyer who shot down JFK was at his inauguration 16 years later. And today, the U.S. has no closer ally than it does in Japan. My mom's career of service shows the enduring legacy of multinational cooperation in the Pacific to protect freedom and democracy. Third, just how grateful I am for the constant vigilance and service of the men and women in uniform who serve in the military day in and day out, protecting our country and all the rights and privileges that we often take for granted. Thank you so much for having me here today. And to help honor the New England Center and JFK Home, and Home for Veterans, JFK's not a part of the organization, not yet at least. And a big thank you to all the builders and the crew of the new USS JFK. Speaking about peace, JFK called it a process, not an absence of conflict, but a presence of cooperation. He reminded us that in the final analysis, we all breathe the same air and inhabit the same small planet. A quote, I'll let him have the last word, a quote from my favorite speech of his at American University. Our problems are man-made, therefore they can be solved by man. Man can be as big as he wants. No problem of human beings is beyond human destiny. Thank you all very much for having me. Have a good evening.
So, you might have to hold that paddle up nice and high for me to get to see when you're making that bid, but I'm going to see you. And together, $100 to the New England Center and Home for Veterans. So I see $2,800, 27 to the back going once, number $2,800. Another $100 to the New England Center and Home. There we go, that's it right
yes!
There. Every dollar counts, thank you.
Unveils, we're at the point of dead load testing, right? We have a big orange sled, right? There's 12 of them.
Oppose any foe to assure the survival and the success of liberty.
That this ship we christened in his name